Good morning, everyone. I would like to officially welcome you to our session this morning. We're super grateful to have you all with us and for our panel for joining us today. We're going to be talking about collaborating to support business. One of the things that the Chamber did earlier this year was to do a member survey. And the thing that came out of that was pretty obvious to our team was that you guys were curious to know what our organizations were doing independently and then also together. So our goal today is to bring together these fabulous people to kind of share what each of those organizations are doing, how we're working together, and how we can support business. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to the Middleton Chamber's Executive Director, Ms. Kate Miller.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first Micro Focus event. These events will be very targeted information based on feedback that we received from the survey that Kristen mentioned, and then also direct outreach both to and from our members. So I appreciate you being here. Our 4 pillars, advocacy is one of those 4 pillars. And for any of you who have ever been to a Get Moving Middleton, I'm sure you've heard FACE as an acronym for our pillars. So we facilitate connections, we advocate for our business community through strategic partnerships, both public and private. We communicate and promote our businesses to members, followers, and residents, and we educate with innovative market-driven programs that will expand business skills and develop leaders. So today we're covering advocacy, and I'm going to cover some COVID-specific resources and communication that we've done over the last 12 to 18 months, some programming that's been developed, some member-to-member connections that we're facilitating, marketing and promotion support, and our public and private partnerships. So starting off with COVID-specific resources and communication, shortly after the Safer at Home order was in place, the team came together and we realized that there was a lot of information coming at us all. And so we very quickly developed our resource page and broke it down by category, whether it was federal funding, state funding, local funding, mental health resources, so that people could hopefully find the information that they were looking for quickly. We also gave the COVID resource page top billing of our newsletter so that people were aware that it was there and that it was being updated. And then, we made hundreds of direct phone calls and sent direct emails to our members, just, how are you? What are your concerns? What can we do for you? We also were able to, if a financial resource was available for a certain industry, we were able to isolate those industries and contact those members directly. So back in the early summer, when they loosened up some of the guidelines a little bit, we heard from our members that they had some concerns and they weren't exactly sure how to reopen or how to communicate effectively through marketing and promotion that they're open but they're safe. So we developed some programming around those concerns, including reopening best practices for retail and restaurants, marketing during a pandemic, and workplace reopening concerns, having those questions answered. And then again, based on that survey and feedback from our members, we decided to create more programming, very specific programming, spring of this year, starting with today, our advocacy event. And then we're going to move on to several other events, including marketing support, using free services, public health requirements for your business, and then what employers and employees want to know when returning to work. So keep your eyes peeled for those events and make sure you get registered. We've also heard that people really still want that member-to-member connection. So we continued doing Get Moving Middleton virtually, and part of that was FaceTime. So that was a small group breakout networking. And the feedback that we got was, we love it. But we really missed those one-on-one conversations. So we created programming called Networking Blitz, where it's a little bit like speed networking for the business person. You can have one-on-one conversations for 7 minutes with 7 different people. So that's been really successful. And then we just recently enhanced our directory options. We were hearing employers are having a hard time finding employees. They want to stay top of mind within the business community. So we have some call outs that can be placed on directory listings around those 2 things. And then just day to day, we updated our signature block just so that we remind everybody, hey, do business with other chamber members, direct link to the directory page, find out who those folks are. And finally, we just continue to foster our private and public partnerships with the city, tourism, the city council, and our friends at the Downtown Middleton Business Association. Last year, the city did their own survey, and we helped kind of formulate that survey, communicate it out to the business community so that they could get the data back that they needed to help advocate for those businesses. We worked with the city and the Middleton Area Development Corporation on the Merrill program, both on the front end to help gauge what the interest was for a resource like this, and then getting that information out to the business community. And I know, I'm sure Mike will be talking about that in a little bit more detail here in a minute. Providing advocacy at City Hall. We heard from some of our members. We really would like the cafe permit application fee to continue to be waived. We want to start the conversation about expanding into the street so we have more of that outdoor space that we could utilize. We are working with our friends over at tourism. We all have shoestring budgets right now, so communicating with them, sharing photos, sharing videos, talking about what Julie and her team is learning on tourism trends, and providing her with feedback on some of our business concerns. And then before sending out our membership survey, I reached out to Mike and said, hey, what information might be beneficial to you that we can help gather? So just keeping that line of communication open, and then staying connected with the Downtown Middleton Business Association so that we can hear firsthand the voice of the small business community. So hopefully I kept that within about the 5 minutes that I had. Lisa, Kristen, and I are continually striving to be better, and one really good way to be able to do that is to hear back from our members. We want to hear from you. You don't need to wait until a membership survey annually. This is my email address. That's my cell phone number. We're still working remotely for the most part, and if you have concerns or gaps in professional development, marketing, and promotion that you think maybe we could help fill, I'd be excited to have those conversations with you. And with that, I think we're holding questions till the end. I'll turn it over to Mike.
Mike, I'll stop sharing my screen and then you should be able to go ahead for yours. You're on mute though, friend.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I will share my screen. Thank you, Kate. The Chamber has been an outstanding partner with the city and the school district for many, many years, and that has not wavered. In fact, you guys are doing a great job of continuing that and enhancing it as well. So thank you. I appreciate all that you're doing. This past year, of course, has been probably the most challenging of most of our lives, personally and professionally. And the Community Development Authority, working with the Downtown Business Association, provided this new mural on the side of Roman Candle Pizza. So it's a great new entryway into our community, and it does say a lot about what we mean about being good neighbors in the city of Middleton. Let's see if I can advance my own slides. So Kate's already mentioned some of these things, but in supporting our local business community, just a little bit of background about how much that we have in terms of restaurants, hotels, several different retail focal points in the community. And there was an article in Business View magazine that's I believe an international online post that we were featured in this past year to provide some understanding about Middleton. A couple of the things that Kate referred to earlier is the city's waiving of outdoor cafe permits in 2021. We currently only have about 8 of those, and you don't need an outdoor cafe permit if you are completely on private property. However, if you're using the terrace area, this is mostly in the downtown where we see this, you need a permit, need to apply, but there will be no fee this year for an outdoor cafe permit. There might be other areas in the community where this would be necessary too, where there's a public sidewalk with a public terrace area. Many of you have probably seen or participated in the Pick Your Picnic to help support our downtown restaurants and retail. And there's information about that here as well. And we certainly encourage continuation of that. Our businesses are very much in need. Right now, I'm working on making sure that we have trash pickup because the last couple of weekends have been pretty intensive for the activity at the future Stone Horse Green. Kate mentioned the Middleton Economic Relief Loan Program, and it's a collaboration that the Chamber helped to promote with its over 700 member organization. To date, $545,000 has been lent. This is specifically to businesses within the city of Middleton. Half of the money was fronted by the city and the other by the nonprofit Middleton Area Development Corporation. So we estimate that up to 25 business can be supported through this additional dollar amount. And there may be a possibility for even more. The city will be getting an allocation of funds from the federal government that we did not get last year that could be used to help promote small businesses and residents struggling and in need. We anticipate getting that allocation within the month of April. A couple of the other things that, and these are, by the way, these are low interest loans, 1% loans, amortized over 4 years. The interest does not start until the beginning of 2022. So it's a good deal for businesses. A couple of the other things that we have done as a city, the library featured story walks at Halloween and during the winter to help promote more activity in the downtown area in particular, as did our recreation department with the candy cane hunt at Valentine's Day. We knew that the winter was going to be tough, and it has been. So we've done as much as we can to help promote continued activity to support our retail and restaurant sectors. Speaking of that, our future downtown area by the Village Green, we are calling the Stone Horse Green, which harkens back to the history of this being the first livery stable in Middleton. Yes, we had horses in downtown Middleton. Horse carriages back before the turn of the century of 1900 and even after. So the livery stable. And there are opportunities to sponsor, and you can check that out at the Stone Horse Green website. But these are some of the opportunities that we will be having at that time. And I'd be happy to address any questions folks might have later, because I know that we're moving on to the next presenter at this point.
Thank you, Mike. We are going to turn it over to Julie. Get your slides up here, Julie. Julie, you are on mute. If you are talking, we cannot hear you right now.
Thank you very much. Let me start over. I wanted to thank Kate for the opportunity to discuss some of what's going on in the world of tourism with everybody. And Kristen's going to drive for me this morning. So Kristen, I'll just flip a page and hopefully you'll advance along with me.
Sounds good.
So moving on to the agenda, what I want to cover this morning is some high-level information on what we're looking at as recovery updates. We'll talk a little bit about some key takeaways from industry research relative to travel trends. And then I want to move into the marketing strategies that we're looking at executing on in the spring and the summer this year, continuing to promote locals, but also starting to pivot back to tourism marketing. So going to the next slide, Kristen. This is the latest recovery projection for room demand from STAR and Tourism Economics. STAR is a company that provides premium data benchmarking, analytics, and marketplace insights for global hospitality sectors. And Tourism Economics monitors the economic impact of travel and tourism. You know, as you can see by this graph, the indicators are suggesting a return to pre-pandemic levels not until 2024. This is a concern for tourism entities that depend on room tax collections for their revenue stream. Middleton Tourism is one of those groups that depends on room tax collections, so we're watching this pretty closely. On the next slide, Kristen, we'll see that the general consensus at the end of last year was that a slow movement toward recovery was going to occur in the first 2 quarters of 2021. And as you read down the slide here, you can see that the speed of the recovery is going to be dependent on the distribution of the vaccine and the level of confidence that the citizens have in the vaccine and their willingness to receive it. So far, the assumptions are proving to be pretty accurate. We're seeing that leisure travel is starting to pick up a little bit, and we'll see that in a couple of slides ahead here. We're feeling that it's still very important to support the vaccination efforts and continue to promote health and safety protocols for those people who are going to be traveling to Middleton. So let's talk a little bit about travel trends. Some of the key takeaways that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks doing recovery research are people are feeling pretty pent up and enthusiasm for travel is continuing to escalate. We can see that people are planning for trips and actual movement is starting to occur. Vaccine is still going to factor in determining when to travel. Safety and health protocols are going to remain important, and leisure travel and the drive market are going to be leading the way. On this slide, oh, sorry, Kristen, could you go back one? This slide shows the results of a survey that was conducted by a group called Organization Next, which is a consulting firm that is widely used by tourism entities and is well respected in our industry. They noted that at the end of 2020, the proportion of American travelers who said the vaccine made them more optimistic about returning to normal in the next 6 months at 61.9%, and the proportion who said the vaccines made them more optimistic about being able to safely travel in the next 6 months, which is 56.4%, and the number of travelers who said that they had begun planning and booking trips specifically in anticipation of events being available, or 33.7%, had all risen. So at the end of 2020, we were already feeling pretty confident that people were going to begin moving within the next 6 months. The next slide is data that was just released by Longwoods International and Miles Partnership. These are also industry analysts who have been they've been surveying 1,000 people, adults over the age of 18, since the pandemic was declared. So they're on, as the slide notes, they're on wave 33 right now of this study. But the news is really optimistic. Their survey is showing that 87% of the respondents who now have travel plans in the next 6 months, and that's the highest level since early March of 2020. This is also the third consecutive wave that's showing 80% or above as a key metric. Their next slide demonstrates the importance of getting that shot in the arm prior to feeling comfortable about moving around. At this point, and I heard this on a webinar yesterday, about 25% of the US population, and I heard this morning about 15 in the state of Wisconsin, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. There's still a concern about the importance of educating the public on getting these vaccines, and it remains a high priority because the feeling is if the cases continue to diminish, travel restrictions are going to loosen up for us. And the response on this slide validates the forecast that travelers are going to start moving around summertime. If you start looking from top to bottom, you can see the percentage of people who believe they're going to be moving around in any given month. I think President Biden's aggressive campaign to have the vaccine available to all Americans by the summer has definitely increased traveler confidence. And lastly, safety and health protocols currently in place are going to continue to be an integral part of attracting travelers to our destination. It's also critical that our residents feel ready to welcome visitors to the city, that we have businesses open and attractions available for them to visit. So as I mentioned earlier, the leisure traveler is expected to be moving around initially. So the rest of my discussion this morning is going to be around our leisure marketing. We know that the drive market is going to be leading the way on travel taking place, primarily within 200 to 300 miles from home. Outdoor recreation is still on the top 5 list of desired activities. And I think Middleton's outdoor assets position us to be a desirable destination for folks that are moving around during the summer. Visiting family and friends, I mean, who doesn't want to be in a group like the folks in the lower right-hand corner here who are able to gather and enjoy each other's company? Baby boomers appear to be the first group that is going to be fully vaccinated and feeling confident about moving. So at this point, let's dive into how Middleton Tourism will be marketing to the leisure traveler, as well as continuing on some campaigns for local residents. We've resumed our TV advertising in the Milwaukee and the Chicagoland markets. As you can see, we've got several outlets that we're using. On cable TV, we're also on network TV for CBS. And our slots on the CBS network include morning weekdays, late afternoon, early evening news and programming, and CBS Sunday morning. At this point, I'm going to stop talking, and Kristen, if we can roll film, we'll take a look at a couple of our commercials. So you can see there's a very subtle call to action here. We didn't really want to tell people they need to start moving. It's more of a, we're here, come and visit our website, do some planning, and when you're ready to move around, think about Middleton. We're also very active on social media. We've got a Facebook page. We're on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube. If you want to see any of the other commercials, you can go out there and visit that site. And we'll continue to use these channels for local promotions. I included some examples here of some posts that we had done for Bachfest and Pi Day that were held recently. On the next slide, these are some examples of our Facebook promotions. Storywalk, which Mike had mentioned earlier, Stroll and Jazz, which took place virtually this year on several different dates. And lastly, the St. Patrick's Day meals that were offered by restaurants in Middleton. We did quite a bit of collaborating last year on marketing and promotion. And so we're looking to build on some of those successes in 2021. Mike has already mentioned Pick Your Picnic. And I think that that was very successful last year. With the addition of outdoor seating and the increased capacities in restaurants, I would expect that we'll see quite a bit of traffic in the downtown area once the weather starts to warm up. And then in addition to that, Storywalk, which Mike also mentioned, just a quick story on Storywalk. The Madison Reading Project had actually reached out to the Chamber of Commerce initially. The folks at the chamber sent that inquiry over to me. I shared that with our library director, and it became a collaboration between our teams, the library teams, and DMBA. The idea was to drive traffic into the downtown area while providing an educational experience and an outdoor experience as well. I would expect that story walks will continue throughout the summer. The other collaboration that we had was with Destination, back one slide, sorry. Destination Madison, who spearheaded an outdoor campaign they called Explore Outdoor Madison. This was a collaboration between our tourism department, Destination Madison, the Fitchburg Chamber Visitor and Business Bureau, the Sun Prairie Chamber of Commerce, and the Verona Chamber of Commerce to showcase the outdoor assets that we had in our region and encourage people to play and stay in Dane County. Now we can move, Kristen. We also created some new marketing campaigns in 2020 that were specifically targeting local business promotions. And one of those was the Monday Business Spotlight. This was a local business spotlight that included a photo and a short description of a Middleton business. We started this in June and sunsetted that particular campaign in the fall and started what we call the Front Porch Series. This is a bi-monthly business spotlight that features a deeper dive into the business itself, including a photo package that was shared on social media, through our website, and in our tourism e-newsletter. We're going to be running this.
Oh, Julie, I think you accidentally went on mute there.
Yep, I caught that. Thank you. Continuing this on through 2021. So here are some things that we have coming up in the pipeline for spring and summer. Carry Me Home is an initiative to promote carryout delivery, as well as curbside and online purchases to locals. We're targeting this to launch in mid-April. We're bringing our sweepstakes back. These have been proven traffic builders on social media for engagement, and we're planning 2, as you can see, in the upcoming months. Folks can also sign up via pop-ups on our website. These were initiatives that we decided to pause last year, and so we're pretty excited to be able to bring these back online. And lastly, National Travel and Tourism Week. This is a celebration that's spearheaded by the U.S. Travel Association to heighten the awareness of the value that travel holds for our economy, our businesses, and our personal well-being. The dates for the 2021 celebration are going to be May 2nd through May 8th, so mark your calendars. We'll be promoting Middleton through social media channels with tactics that include giveaways, and we're working on refreshing a video for that week. I think collaboration is in our DNA, and we're always looking for ways to have you help us help you, I think is the best way to say it. So I came up with a couple of ideas that I wanted to share with you for ways that you can collaborate a little bit deeper with us. And social media, sharing our posts and liking us on Facebook would be very helpful. Any donations for sweepstakes prizes would be greatly appreciated. It can be gift cards in any denomination that you feel comfortable giving us. And in return, we will be promoting your business via our social media channels, in our newsletters, as well as in the information that goes out about the sweepstakes. We have an event calendar on our website, which is posting all events that take place in the city of Middleton that would be of interest to visitors. You can fill out a form through our website, and we can put the link up here in the chat for you. And then we'll make sure to get those on our calendar. And please update your business listings. That information goes into our visitor guide, and it's pretty important that we have accurate information about you. So keep us posted on any changes that you might have in your business and your contacts. And then lastly, newsletter content. We put out a newsletter to our subscribers twice a month. And we also have a partner e-newsletter, which we put out quarterly for all of you. And we're always looking for stories, photographs, special packages that we can share with our e-newsletter subscribers. So on the next page, I want to present our team to you, and they're waiting to hear from you on anything that you'd like to share with us. Laura Ports is our Convention and Event Services Manager, and she oversees the content for our website event calendar, facilitates special event permit applications, and handles visitor guide fulfillment, among many other tasks. She is also monitoring business listings for our online visitor guide. Mari Olson, who is our tourism marketing manager, is all things marketing and promotion. So feel free to reach out to her with prize donations, ideas for social media posts, and newsletter content. And I think I'll stop at this point and provide you with our contact information, our social media sites, and just thank you for all of the support for our marketing and promotion efforts that you've given us in the last year. It's been a tough year for all of us, but I think we're at the corner on the road to recovery, and we're looking forward to making that turn with all of you. Feel free to reach out to us and continue the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And next up, we have Andrea from the Downtown Middleton Business Association. I always screw those, reverse the words for some reason.
All right, good morning, everybody. And we'll just call it the DMBA. How about that? It's a little less of a tongue twister. All right. I'm happy to be here this morning to build on a lot of the themes that we've heard from the prior three speakers on all the great collaboration that we have going on in downtown Middleton to help drive business back into all of the small businesses that we have. It's such a wonderful, vibrant community, and we're really hoping to have a nice rebound this year. I will let you go on. There we go. So our themes, we've heard a lot about this, themes of community and collaboration in 2020, and we're really looking forward to carrying that, continuing on with that in 2021, as we continue to build our brand of downtown Middleton as a vibrant outdoor district. That is really a key point of difference that we offer in downtown Middleton as a collection of small businesses. And the nice thing about that is outdoors where people are going to want to be as things continue to become safer and ramp up and we can all start venturing out again. I think as a group of small businesses, we're optimistic, maybe some more cautious than others, but overall optimistic about this pent-up demand from the community and eventually from tourists on being able to get out and shop, taste, and explore their way around downtown Middleton. So we can see some light coming at the end of the tunnel. How long that tunnel is still remains to be seen. But really this is taking a lot of careful planning on the part of our small businesses to be ready to service that demand. For a lot of us, that means pivoting on our pivots. We've all become great at pivoting as most businesses have in the past year, not just small business. But really, we're working hard on ramping up our hours and days of service, staffing in order to do that. All these things that we kind of just had to throw together last year to be able to have any kind of business needs to get reintegrated into our ongoing systems for being in business. We've got the evolving public health guidelines. So we're working on a lot of moving pieces. And at the same time, we know that there are varying degrees of comfort from customers and from staff. And what that means is extra levels of service so that we're meeting people where they feel most comfortable. In dining, for example, some people are very comfortable coming in to dine inside restaurants. Others aren't. In fact, Capital Times just did a poll right around the time that public health eased the guideline up to 50% indoor capacity. Still 2/3 of people in this market in the Madison area are not comfortable dining indoors. We feel like that's going to be changing as vaccinations ramp up and caseloads remain lower, and that's wonderful. It's all headed in the right direction. But in the near term, that means that businesses have to be responsive to meeting people where they are, not only customers, but staff as well. You know, we're not only as small businesses serving customers, we're also places of employment. And that's sometimes I feel like gets overlooked in some of the reasons why we're making decisions we are as a group of businesses on how open we want to be, how comfortable we feel being open, et cetera. So lots of challenges that we're working through. And as things ramp back up, reopening isn't necessarily going to look like business before, from the before time, which brings extra communication challenges so that we're setting and managing expectations. One thing that's interesting, I think, here is the Wisconsin Restaurant Association has some training materials, some certifications you can get to show that you're a COVID safe business. One of the trainings that's required to get that certification is to take conflict de-escalation training. I mean, that just shows some of the challenges that small businesses are dealing with as we're dealing, again, with varying levels of comfort and expectation in the community. So overall, optimistic. And looking forward to getting back at it. DMBA as an association we're trying to focus outward so that we can find all these wonderful collaborations and partnerships that we've been working on over the past year and even prior, but really carrying those forward. And we've heard from a number of our partners here already this morning, wonderful programs that have been put into place over the past year, Story Walk being one example. Pick Your Picnic has been fabulous to give the community a safe opportunity to get out and encourage them to come downtown. We'll continue to do that in 2021. The city has been an incredible partner as well through the things that Mike talked about earlier to help us as small business owners be able to be creative and flexible and nimble in navigating this pretty wild and crazy landscape. The Merle program I should have thrown in here as well. The loan program has been very helpful. And so all of these things, sidewalk cafe licensing, street closures, curbside pickup spots, CDA funding, which helps us tremendously, and other means of support, all helps us build on all of these ideas. all of the various communication channels that we've heard about this morning continue to be helpful to the small businesses to help us expand reach and build awareness and magnify our own messaging to our own individual customers. And so we're looking forward to continuing to build on those and take advantage. And just as you can see on the right, just, we are trying to put together additional programming for this year. We have our Local Love books out, which you can see the photo there. That's a collection, a collaboration that we put together around the holidays, a special collection of 23 offers from 23 of our just shy of 50 businesses downtown, unique offers that encourage people to come in and get a reward for continuing to support and patronize our businesses. I'll talk a little bit more in a second. We'll continue on Story Walk. There is a summer Story Walk plan that will be June through early July. Pick Your Picnic will resume. And then we're just navigating public health guidelines to understand, can we bring in live music periodically? Can we resume the Fall Wine Walk, which I know would be a very popular return of an event? And then eventually we'll get to the holidays. We'll walk before we run to the holidays. So our focus has been more outward. Really what we're trying to do, because we are a group of primarily volunteers, businesses on the board running this, we're really leaning on the expertise and resources of our partners like Chamber, like the city, like tourism, to help address some of the more internal topics like navigating public health or reopening guidelines or creative marketing, those kinds of things, which our businesses all have questions on. We've got great expertise and resources through our partnerships that can help with all the advocacy and so forth. And then go ahead, Kristen. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, there we go. So here's some ideas on how you can help. As I mentioned, we have our Local Love collaboration. This is a shot of what it is. You can see some of the examples of some of the offers that are inside. These are available for purchase online and in participating retail locations. For businesses through the Chamber that might have clients where client appreciation gifts are of interest, or realtors welcoming newcomers to the Middleton community, we're certainly willing to work with you on bulk discounts to buy these in bulk. The offers run through the end of September, so it's a great opportunity to help drive foot traffic in through the end of the summer. The other things I would ask are just continue to support your favorite local businesses, however you feel comfortable. Again, we know there's a range of people ready to dine in, others aren't for a variety of reasons. That goes with shopping too. Virtually all of our businesses have gotten online ordering up and running on websites. Virtually all of us will still continue to do curbside pickup or shipping in some cases for the retailers. Many of the businesses are willing to do private appointment-based shopping if that's of comfort to you. So I would just say continue to look for us, call. That's probably one of the easiest ways to get the information. Sometimes all of these changes on websites, social media, et cetera, we know that those are great ways of communicating, but in the rush of a moment, sometimes it takes time to get all those channels updated. As small business owners wearing so many hats with so many fires coming at us. So just calling is always a great way to find out what current hours are, especially as things are changing. We know we're coming up against a very dynamic time here in the next several weeks and months of business ramping back up. And as we have staff in place to be able to open back up, we're just in for a lot of change. Help us spread the word. Word of mouth is really a budget-friendly marketing for all these cash-strapped businesses, and your help in spreading the word is always very much appreciated. And then finally, be kind. That's just a general message that I found myself giving over the past year in general. Businesses and people, we're all doing the best we can with what we have, where we are. We're all making decisions for a variety of reasons. We're all in very different situations, personally and professionally. We all want to be open. That's why we got in business. And so just be kind and respectful of the decisions that everybody's making as we continue to navigate through this dynamic next weeks and months.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's what I have to share with you.
Thank you, Andrea. At this time, you guys, we would love to entertain any questions that the group has. So please feel free to take yourself off of mute to ask those. Otherwise, you are also welcome to type them in the chat. Just a note about the chat is that there have been some links that have been dropped in there that you guys might want to capture before we're done for today.
I have a question. Am I the only one that has like a total hankering for donuts after watching those Middleton tourism videos?
No.
Like, if I don't get a donut immediately, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I was feeling that way about the ice cream and the gelato.
Choose. Get them both.
Yeah.
We did have a question come through chat. So this one is for Julie. Julie, how much of the decline in hotel bookings was due to the business travel and conventions?
I will speak locally. It's been devastating in Dane County. We depend on meetings, events, conferences, conventions for the bulk of our room tax collections. And we have been looking at 60% below occupancy compared to 2019 for the last year and 3 months. I mean, right now, our occupancy levels in Middleton, in January, it was almost 19%, and in February, it was 23%. Those are incredibly low. Our convention hotel continues to sit open and will do so until Public Health, Madison and Dane County loosens up the restrictions on mass gathering orders. Destination Madison and ourselves are part of a group that has been talking with the folks at Public Health and trying to share successful best practices from other communities who have been doing events and doing them without any health issues. I think the concern in our county is that we just have too many people who are not being sensible about gathering. And until those people are willing to start adhering to some of the advice that public health is giving us, we're going to continue to experience these low occupancy rates. Hope that answered your question.
Again, happy to take any questions. If you feel comfortable, please take yourself off of mute. Otherwise, feel free to type that in the chat. We will stay on here for a few more minutes, but I just want to give a big thank you to everyone that participated today, especially this great lineup of panelists. I hope that you guys got some great information about how these organizations are working together to support business. We are here for you guys, so please do reach out to any of us or all of us for those needs that you might have that are specific to you. We're happy to help and support the way that we can.
Julie, Mike, Andrea, I just have to thank you for the collaboration over the last year, and you know, the support that you've provided to us and the feedback that you've given has been absolutely invaluable, and we really appreciate you and everything you do for the Middleton community, and just really enjoy working with you guys.
Well, the feeling is certainly
mutual.
Great minds.
Yes.
It's been a terrific collaboration, and we're looking forward to continuing it and building.
It definitely feels like we were talking before the presentation. There are some silver linings that come out of everything that's happened. And that's definitely one of the silver linings we'll carry forward.
Strong town, right?
That's right. That's right.
We're
Get
all
your votes
voting.
in. Get your votes
We're
in.
all voting.
Vote in this election. You can vote as many times as you want from different devices. So if you want to feel like you're Chicago, vote from every device you have, every
There you
email
go.
you have. There you go.
Vote early, vote often, right?
Yes. You've heard that. I was on Channel 3 this morning promoting us. So if you weren't awake at 6:15 watching Channel 3, I sent it out on our Good Neighbor Hub and Nextdoor this morning.
I'll have to take a look. Mike,
I'll
I
have to
was
check that.
actually, I've been up since 3:30, but I just didn't happen to have the news
Oh,
on.
gee.
Wow, you have the same affliction as my wife.
You know,